What is a tariff? A tariff is a tax placed on imported or exported goods by a government. Think of it as a price tag added to products coming from other countries. But unlike the price you see in stores, this extra cost isn't set by businesses. It's set by the government to regulate trade. So let's say you want to buy a brand new gaming console, but it's made in another country. When it arrives in your country, a tariff could be added to it, making the final price higher than if you bought a similar console made domestically. But why do governments do this? There are a few reasons. One major reason for tariffs is protectionism, a strategy used by governments to protect their local industries. If foreign goods are too cheap, local businesses might struggle to compete. By adding a tariff, imported products become more expensive, which makes locally made goods more attractive to consumers. This encourages people to buy products made in their own country, keeping businesses alive and maintaining jobs. For an example, if imported cars from another country are way cheaper than cars made domestically, a government might add a tariff to level the playing field, making sure its own car manufacturers don't go out of business. Tariffs are also served as a source of revenue for governments. Just like how people pay taxes on their income or purchases, governments collect money from tariffs to fund public services. Historically, before income taxes became common, tariffs were a major way governments made money. Even today, many countries still use tariffs as a financial tool to fund infrastructure, military, healthcare, and other government programs. Now let's break down the different types of tariffs. There are specific tariffs and ad valorem tariffs. A specific tariff is a fixed fee charged per unit of an imported good. So if a government decides to charge $5 per pair of imported shoes, then every imported pair will have an extra $5 added to its cost, no matter how expensive or cheap the shoes originally were. On the other hand, an ad valorem tariff is based on a percentage of product value. If there is a 10% tariff on an imported smartphone worth $1,000, that means an extra $100 is added to its cost. This means the more expensive the item, the higher the tariff amount. Tariffs don't just affect businesses, they also impact consumers and the economy, but in different ways. On one hand, tariffs can protect local jobs and encourage domestic production. When tariffs make imported goods more expensive, people are more likely to buy from local producers, which boosts the country's economy. However, on the flip side, tariffs can also make everyday products more expensive for consumers. If tariffs are placed on essential goods like food, clothing, or electronics, the cost of living could rise because imported items now cost more. A major downside of tariffs is the possibility of a trade war. A trade war happens when one country imposes tariffs and another country retaliates by doing the same. Instead of benefiting either side, trade wars can hurt both economies by making goods more expensive and slowing down global trade. A recent example is the US-China trade war, where both countries imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods. This led to higher prices for consumers and uncertainty for businesses that rely on international trade. On the other hand, some countries tried to reduce tariffs through trade agreements. For an example, agreements like NAFTA, now the USMCA, and the European Union's trade policies remove or lower tariffs between certain countries to encourage trade and economic cooperation. By lowering tariffs, these agreements make goods more affordable and allow businesses to expand across borders more easily. So while tariffs might seem like just a simple tax on imports, they actually play a massive role in shaping economics, protecting industries, and influencing international relationships. Whether they help or hurt depends on your perspective. If you're a local business, tariffs might protect your job and help your industry grow. But if you're a consumer, tariffs might make everyday products more expensive. Governments have to find a balance between protecting their economies and keeping trade open and fair. At the end of the day, tariffs are more than just an extra cost. They're a powerful tool that shapes the way countries trade, compete, and grow. Whether they lead to economic growth or trade conflict, one thing is clear: tariffs will always be a major player in the world of global economics. This is Amanda, and I will see you in the next video.